Hi everyone, my name is Enda and this is a little space on the internet where I talk about my fiber related projects, whether it's knitting or crocheting or spinning or sewing. This is where I talk about it. And I call it, did I already say that? I call it the yarn and the restless. Maybe I said that already. I've started recording this video and said the intro many times, so I don't really know what I've said or not. And I'm not sure what episode it is, but I believe I have recorded, one of my cats is coming. Hi! I believe I've recorded at least 10 episodes. And what am I trying to say? Oh, I wasn't sure how I was gonna feel when I started recording these. I wasn't sure how long I would want to do it. And in the very beginning, I thought I was gonna do this weekly, and I very quickly realized that was not for me. And I've just been doing it when I feel like, which seems to be about monthly, sometimes a little bit less, sometimes a little bit more. And I've been enjoying it. I really enjoy talking about my projects and building a community around doing so, broadening my knitting community. So whether you are new here, which if you are, thank you for being here, and if you are returning, thank you so much for returning. I'm so grateful for all of you. Okay, it's time to get into the projects. I wasn't expecting, you can't see him, I wasn't expecting to have a cat on my lap, but I think that's for the best. This is my rowdy cat. And if he needs to be on my lap for a while, that's fine. Typically about, which is kind of a long stretch, about an hour before the automatic feeders go off to feed my cat's dinner, he is wild. He just can't wait for dinner, and he's quite mischievous, but that's not what we're here to talk about. All right. It just started raining. I don't know if you can hear it, probably not, but I really enjoy the sound of rain. It's New Year's Eve, and what better time to review the projects I feel most drawn to and talk about things that I'm excited for in the near future. And reviewing this year, thinking about the things that brought me joy, thinking about the lessons I've learned. That chunk of time between Christmas and New Year's is always, for me, a very, very, very mellow, laid back, almost like doesn't exist time. And whether, I mean, I don't celebrate Christmas, so it's just like that chunk of time that holiday time is usually, oh my gosh, it's like they're working together. This one's laying on my lap and my other cat is trying to eat a plant, and I have to stop him because he will vomit. Hey, 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 please. It's not time to eat. You can't eat that. Go. Okay, well, this is the life of having pets. And these little mischievous cats. Anyways, I don't know. I don't celebrate Christmas, so I don't know what I'm trying to say. It's just the chunk of time between Christmas and New Year's that like society is kind of revolved around in terms of time off and holiday season and stuff. I feel like everything revolves around Christmas. is just deeply reflective, is what I'm trying to get to at. A deeply reflective time where I feel like a little potato in the best way possible. I don't do much. I allow myself to rest, which is a beautiful thing. I mean, all year I'm kind of trying to allow myself to give myself time to rest, and it seems like it's the most easiest in this chunk of time. And recharge and think about how after New Year's it's time to get back to work and have the energy to do so, because just rested for a week. So I don't know, that's all I'm trying to say. The first project that I want to talk about is the only one that I finished, and I don't physically have it because it was a gift. I went to family members' home for Christmas, although we didn't celebrate Christmas. It's just, again, everyone has time off then, so I went and stayed the night over at their home during that time. And I had been working, if you are returning, you might know what I'm talking about, but I had been working on these socks for her for all year. Maybe not consecutively all year, since it was just a pair of socks. Like, why did it take me that long? But it's certainly on and off all year. I looked back to see when I started them, and I cast them on in January. So literally all year. And that when I saw that's when I cast them on, that's when I was like, I do not want them on my needles in my possession come this January. Like, that's too long. So before I was invited to their home over the holiday, I was like, well, I'm not gonna see her, it doesn't matter, I can finish them when I finish them and I can send them. And then once I was invited, I was like, okay, like, it's time to go, like, let's just finish them up. And it felt so relieving to rid myself of that gift that I wanted to give. I'm so happy they're not here, but I will try to insert a photo right here. I held mohair with them, so they were extra soft and luxurious. One day I'll knit myself a pair like that. I don't want to knit socks for a while. The person I gifted to them to absolutely loved them. They fit her perfectly. She was so grateful. I can tell that she's really cherishing them, and she had also given me a pair of hand knit socks that her mother had given her many years ago that needed darning, so I also darned those and gave them to her at the same time, and she was just really happy about it, and that felt so good. I don't do a lot of gift knitting. I tell people I want to knit them things all the time and I don't do it. So this was honestly, this was the first time I think I ever did. I knit my baby niece a beanie, but by the time I gave it to her, she had grown so much that the beanie did not fit her head, and it fits one of her dolls, her Abby doll. Does that count then? Like, I knit a beanie for a doll. Anyways, that's that. Socks are done. Socks are out of my life. Her husband, I'm also knitting a pair of socks for, and I had finished one. I think I did show that last episode, and I finished one, and I had enough time to finish the second one, but I knew, something in me knew that it wasn't gonna fit. So I just brought the one and had him try it on, and lo and behold, he could not get the heel onto his foot. Like, he could pull it over his toes and the length of his foot, but it wasn't going to go over his heel. And he is someone that really prefers loose fitting socks. Oh, there's a dog in my hallway. So I'm gonna make him a different pair of socks. I asked him for one of his socks so I could use it as a guide, because I don't have a lot of experience knitting for that size of foot. So I really didn't know. And when I finished the one that I brought him, I definitely thought it was gonna be too long. Somebody's dog is here. There's no dogs allowed, but I mean, it's fine if someone brings a dog. It's just shocking. I thought the sock was going to be too long. It was, to me, laughable. It was like, it just seemed so long. But the length was fine, actually, which, but I have pretty small feet, so I think that would make a lot of sense that like a big foot sock would be shocking to me. Okay, moving on. It's raining really hard. Okay, so I've shown this before, and here is some progress. I guess this is better this way. I'm pretty sure when I showed it, just so you guys know, it's like a beautiful forest green. It looks, I don't know, it looks like gray, black green. That's just because the lighting is so terrible, which is why I'm surrounding myself by these vibrant oranges, because there's no light or sun. Anyways, last video, I think I was still working on the yoke and I hadn't separated it for the sleeves. So clearly I've done that. And I'm just finishing up the body now, which I was really into and was moving right along. But when I got back from my travels, I just started casting on so many things because I was free of those socks. The weight had been lifted. I didn't realize what a burden. I loved making them, but I didn't realize how heavy that project was sitting on me, because it was a gift and I wanted to finish it, and I knew the recipient really deserved that pair of socks, and it was just like eating me up that I wasn't working on them. Anyways, I will finish this. Telling myself. When I try it on, I am like so back on it and inspired, and then when I take it off, I'm like, I'm gonna work on something else. But I do want to wear this. I can see this being like an all the time sweater, and I would like to finish it so I can wear it this season. Because there's not a lot of time where I live where I can wear my knits. And I knit all the time, so it's kind of laughable that I live somewhere where I can't wear them that often. And it's just getting warmer and warmer every year here. So that's that. Put that over there. I don't know if I ever showed this. I made this balaclava. Maybe I can put it on. I made this a while ago, and I brought it up when I was traveling to give it to the family member I gave those socks to, but didn't really wear anything on her head ever. And I let her just try it out and see how she felt about it, and it was a no for her, so it's mine. And it does seem kind of big here. That was something that she didn't like about it. I don't think I had blocked it before I gave it to her, and she's someone that is really sensitive to scents, so she hand washed it and it did grow a lot, and I don't mind that. I'll wear it. I have a lot of hair underneath there to kind of fill it up, but it wasn't her vibe, so it's mine, which is totally fine with me. I used to be really, really into them, and I haven't been wearing them. But kind of moving out of this phase, but it's a really pretty yarn. But yeah, I'm not really a balaclava person anymore. I have like 5, but maybe I can just sell them or something. So that's that. My hair's getting so long. Okay, moving on. I have a crochet project using this cotton yarn. I got this at a creative reuse store a while ago. I got like a whole pack of them for $1 each. There was 9 of them, so I paid $9 for all of them. And I am making, one side looks better. It's supposed to be reversible, but I think one side is like clearly the front. I'm making a vest. It looks pretty wide, but I want it to be wide and comfy. And it's really not that much a positive ease. So I'm crocheting this vest out of it. It's pretty true to color. And I haven't spent a lot of time on this, but it's going really fast. I mean, I've sat down like maybe twice with this, and I'm a very short person, so like everything I make would be deemed cropped, but like a cropped length like from armpit to the bottom is typically like 9 or 10 inches, and that's like my whole torso. So I am making it cropped, but it's not cropped on me. So I mean, I can't remember how long this is, but maybe like 6 inches already. So I'm moving along. This is how much I have left of this. The one thing I'm worried about is if I have enough. This is the 3rd. This is the 2nd ball I've used, so this is the 3rd, and I have 9. I think I'll have enough, but I hope so, because I can only use 3.5 for the front to have 3.5 for the back. I don't know. Worst case scenario, I have to buy more and the lot will be different, but whatever. I am still really happy with it. So that's that. I forget how fast crochet works up. Like, this has really brought me a lot of joy. I learned how to crochet when I was a little kid. It was knitting that I learned just a few years ago, and for some reason, once I learned how to knit, I wasn't really that interested in crocheting anymore, like at all. So this is the first crochet project, like bigger project, that I've really enjoyed, and I'm excited about it. I checked out a crochet stitch reference book from the library, and I just really enjoyed making this. This is just a self-drafted vest. Maybe it'll be a pattern, maybe it won't. We'll see. I have crocheted like a lot of smaller projects before this while knitting. Like I made a bunch of crocheted bandanas for my sister, who doesn't wear them. And I was gonna say I would love to have them back, but I can just make some more. They knit up, they crochet up, they work up so fast. So that's that. Moving on. I don't need to be talking so much about all these in length. Okay, I I accidentally felt it, not something I hand knit, but I felt it an Angora thrifted cardigan. I don't know what I was thinking. I had washed it before in the washer and it was totally fine, but I never dried it, and I threw it in the dryer this time, and when it came out, I was just like, whoops, bye, there's that, it's gone. And that really annoyed me. So previously I made that lentil sweater. My cat is eating that plant again. Hey, no. No. Previously I made that lentil sweater in that variegated self-striping yarn, and I loved it. And after felting that sweater, I wanted to knit a sweater in acrylic, and I wanted to knit a sweater that changed colors. If I'm gonna do plain stockinette, I really like when the colors change. So I shouldn't have the Joann's app on my phone, but I do, and I was looking at their yarn, and I picked up, which way is the front and the back? I picked up this color changing yarn. It's just so easy to look through their app and then go pick it up. And then I just self-drafted this raglan, and I did just a few short rows in the back. So I haven't like got that far in the color changes, which I'm happy. They're pretty chunky stripes. And I'm not sure why I wound up, the acrylic yarn always comes in these like really big mounds of yarn that I kind of hate carrying around and unraveling from, or pulling from the center. So I made a cake out of it on my ball winder, but I'm not sure why I made it so big. Like, it's just as bulky and annoying. But as you can tell, it's about to go into this like creamy gold color, and then it goes to cream and then back to the purples. So that's that. It's also like the stitches are so big. I don't remember the gauge, but I'm using big needles. I'm using 8mm needles. I think I used 6 on the ribbing. And I'm making this. And this is also working up really fast. I just only worked on this like one day, but that's a significant amount of the yoke for one day, especially since like maybe 4 rows is an inch, and I like these colors on me, so I'm excited about that. I think that's a better, you can see what's happening there. I bought 2 of these balls, and I don't know if I need them both. The cake isn't the whole amount. If I don't use them both for that sweater and I have extras, it's gonna be so annoying because I'm trying to get rid of all this extra yarn I have. Okay, wait, I do have another finished object. On my travels, my recent travels, I started making these mittens. I'm gonna put them on. I had bought some Noro yarn quite a while ago and didn't know what to do with it, and I made these. And these knit up so fast. I took a bus to where I was headed for my travels, and I think I knit a whole mitten on the ride up there, and then on the ride back I didn't knit that much because the bus was really full and it was really uncomfortable, and I had paid for reserved seats, and I paid for 2, so like no one could sit next to me, and that just like wasn't acknowledged, and the bus was full, and I had to sit next to somebody that was like clearly sick and coughing, and it was stressful. But here they are. As soon as I got home and settled in, I knit the other one and they were done. And this is the, I don't remember what it's called, but it's a tin can knit free mitten pattern. It's also the first time I've ever knit mittens, and I did it as the pattern instructed, but my hands are small, and I would have liked it, like, this is where my thumb begins. I would have liked beginning my thumb sooner, so they just fit better. And I was thinking about making that modification on the second one, but I didn't want to have one like this and one that fit really well, so I just made them both like this. And it's fine, I mean, they're functional. I don't really do much with my hands when I have them on, although earlier I was wearing them outside because it was really cold, and I was trying to hold my coffee cup, and that was pretty annoying. But this Nora yarn is very beautiful. And this is a different yarn. So I made those quick and fun. Okay, guess what I learned? I feel like this is the last thing in knitting land that I wanted to learn, and I learned how to brioche knit. And this is using, one of the yarns is a worsted weight, even though I think this is DK weight, and this is an undyed. So it's like extra sheepy, and I love it. I steamed this to see it like a little more blocked, kind of, and so I can measure how far I've come. And it just smelled like farm when I was steaming it. It smelled really good. And then this is obviously a lace weight mohair. This pattern is by James N. Watts. I can never remember if it's N or M, but I think it's James N. Watts. And this is their Earth and Air. I actually saw somebody I follow on Instagram. They've been posting stories of all of their tops that they've made, and I reached out to them and told them how like great and how much I love those stories are, because there's a lot of patterns I don't know about, and getting to see like the finished garment on a body and moving around, they have similar body types to me, has been really helpful. And when I saw their Earth and Air, I just needed one. I'm pretty sure a typical brioche uses 2 of the same weight yarn, so this is like a little different, but it makes like a really, really, a really, really airy, beautiful fabric, and it's just light as a cloud. And this also knit up really fast, although I have been doing nothing the last few days except for just hibernating, so maybe it did take a while and I've just been knitting nonstop. It took a few days to get here, and I just have maybe 2 more inches before I separate for the front and the back, so that's pretty fast. This color combination is really similar to the sample that James made, and I was just obsessed with it. I think they used like a more highlighter yellow green, but I like this one. So that's that. I learned brioche, and it's a lot easier than I was making it out to be in my head. Go figure. Okay, I only have 2 more things to show, and they are in the very early stages. if you've been here before, you know that I have designed with Fiber Co's yarn before, and recently just got more yarn support for 2 cardigans that I am designing, and this is what the yarn looks like. And these little flecks in it are pieces of linen, but it gives it this pretty kind of tweedy look that I really like. I can't remember the other contents of the yarn. I think it's wool and alpaca and then the linen. It doesn't feel like exceptionally soft when you touch this, but this is all I have right now. But when I touch the ribbing that I'm making, it's nice. This is really nice. But right now I just have this long strip of ribbing, and the ribbing is really deep for this cardigan, so I'm gonna be here for a minute, and then I will join in the round and add a steek. And when I add steek to something, it's 5 stitches. So when I join in the round, I'll cast on 5 stitches and then join in the round, and that will be the beginning of the steek. But I don't ever do the steek on the ribbing because I feel like when you cut it, I don't want to have that edge down there. That's just me. I don't know if that's universal and everyone feels that way. That's just how I do it. So there's that, beginning stages. And then I have another design that I'm using the same line of yarn but different colors. That line of yarn is called And Make DK, I think. I don't know. Maybe I should know. It's okay. I'm in the middle of a round, which I usually don't leave it at, which is annoying. And I just steamed what I have worked on last night as well, so it was a little more flat and I could see what was going on. But this is the beginning of another design I'm making. Oh, I like it. It's nice seeing it on camera, even though it's like not that different than seeing it in real life. But I, for a few moments, was like, do I like this? Damn, I'm like committed to making this. But I do like it, which is great. And it's not that pretty because I'm at the very end of oh my gosh, what a mess. I'm at the very end of this ball, so that's what that color looks like. And this is the other one. And I don't have that kind of red orange color out, but that's also a really pretty color. And there's this folded hem edge. I may have asked them for not enough yarn. I was thinking of the yardage that I usually use for worsted weight sweaters in my size. So that's what I told them, and since this is a DK weight and it's a pretty thin DK weight, I'm not really sure if I'm gonna have enough, and I can either ask them for more and tell them I made a mistake, or I can buy more, or I can change the design a little bit and make it, the sleeves, make it short sleeve, but make them end like kind of above the elbow, because this cardigan is more of like a throw. I don't know how you'd call it, but I don't think I'm gonna put a button band on it. I might just have a tie, or I might have a snap, or options to do either. I don't know, we'll see. But there's gonna be another one of this above, and then it'll change. I need to start thinking about adding that in. I'm also gonna add steeks for vertical pockets instead of like, I'm just gonna do the illustration up here even though there wouldn't be sideways pockets going in this way. So vertical pockets, so you can put your hand in like that instead of them going up and down, which is typically how I usually put pockets in knitwear, even though I'm never gonna like rest my hand in a pocket like that. So I want to do it that way. And just adding a little steek there and cutting it open later. So that's another design. This is what it looks like, kind of. Ouchie. My cat keeps reaching out and touching me, which is really sweet, but it hurts. Whatever. This is something I'm working on. It's kind of bunched up. I'm using a 40-inch cable, and I think this sample is going to be 44 inches or 46 inches wide. So it looks like that right now. I think that's it. I think that's all I have to show this time around. It's exciting. Yeah, I don't know. I am excited for all of these things. And looking forward to finishing those 2 cardigans that I just started designing, probably in March, probably between March and May. I'll have them both done and out. I think by February I want to have at least one of them ready for testing. So we'll see. Right now I'm not super focused on them because I want to spend this relaxing time doing whatever I want before I have to focus on work stuff. So I do think like I'm more in this project right now. I just binge watched a whole show. I watched like 3 seasons of a show while making that and working on the crochet stuff. So yeah, I'm just resting and processing and recharging and thinking about how I want next year to be for myself and the things that I want to work on personally, internally, things that I want to focus on externally, like my work. I work as a tattoo artist, and where I want to see my work evolve to there. I work part-time as a tattoo artist. Excuse me. Part-time, get your butt out of here. Part-time as a painter. So definitely working on my paintings. I have a really big one in progress and a few more kind of in my head that I'm thinking of starting. Taking that more seriously and spending more time there. I have a few deadlines coming up to submit paintings to. No. Please don't eat those. And yeah, and then knitting and my knitwear design, focusing on that too. So a lot of things, but a lot is coming from all of that, and it feels really good. And the more I spend time on each of those incrementally, somehow, even though that's like a lot of different careers, somehow the more time I make to sit with myself and my feelings and give myself a lot of love and compassion. And I've been listening to this book called The Ways of Grace by Miranda McPherson, and it's all about relaxing your ego, which is an extremely trying feat, especially, I don't know, there are moments where I think I'm making a lot of progress, and then there are moments where I unravel no pun intended, I unravel a little bit and fall apart, and my ego takes over. And having compassion for myself in moments like that, and taking accountability and moving through it, and forgiving myself, and learning from mistakes, and growing, and being compassionate, and work and doing the work of it all. I think that's time to wrap it up. My cats are knocking things over. Hey. But he's about to get fed in 5 minutes, so he's upset that it's not happening right now. Okay. Despite the background noise, hey. And all of the interruptions my cats have brought this episode, I'm still gonna put it out. And I hope that wrapping up this year feels reflective, and that there's a lot of gratitude to hold, and a lot of love. And despite all the challenges that this year has brought and continues to bring, hey. Looking at the year and just, I can't focus. What a little, come. Hi. All right. I hope you look at this year with a lot of love, and I hope you have had many, many beautiful moments, and I hope that even in the hardest times of this year, you can look back and be proud of yourself. And I'm proud of you. I'm proud of me. I love you. I love me. And that's all we can do, right? Let's just show up and do our best, even when our best isn't a lot. Okay, until next time, happy making, happy knitting, happy new year.